Hello, DJ Static in the house once again, folks. I'm here to do my first real video product review. It's on this thing right here, what I've been telling you about. This is the DJ Console RMX. And for comparison purpose, I have the original DJ Console, which is actually a DJ Control MP3, sitting right next to it. That's the one that I used for the first year or so of my DJing. I'm going to this now. So, first impressions. As you can see, the RMX is much bigger than the regular console. Also, this comes with a much more powerful version of Virtual DJ. The limited edition is still limited in its own way, obviously because it's a limited edition, but you get a discount when you buy this. You can get Virtual DJ 5 for $150 if you purchase the DJ console. They give you a discount because you already have a version and you're just upgrading basically. So, if I can move my headphones here. The first things first is this is much more substantial. It's much heavier. I would say this unit weighs a good 3 or 4 pounds, whereas this thing feels like it's about maybe a pound or so. Not sure what that is in metric, so don't ask me. Also, they've changed the layout quite a bit. On the old DJ console, there was no master volume, which is this center fader here. You'll see all this when we get closer. So, basically, I'm going to do a little bit of a review on this right now because unfortunately so far Mark Raish, DJ Hypnotizer at Matrix, has been unable to. We've always been cocked up. We almost had it last night, but we didn't have any RCA cables. So I'm going to pause the camera, hold tight, I'll be right back. We're now a little bit closer. I'm still here. Makes me wish I had a fisheye lens. Jay, if you know where, Jonathan, if you can tell me where to get one of those, please do, because I need it. So, anyhow, you've got a closer look at the DJ Console RMX now. You've got your mic volume over here. You have a mic input. I'll just move the camera up a little bit. Talk on tripod. You've got the mic input over here. This is your mic volume. You have your mic on-off button, which lights up when you press it. Source 1. Now what that does is allows you to use another source besides this deck. So if I wanted to, I could use another source besides this. And you've got that. This is your gain knob, obviously. You've also got the kill switches on the EQ. This has its own EQ built into it. You can use this inside of Virtual DJ. Kill buttons for each one. The balance button, which I get the balance knob, which you can use to go left or right to make sure everything's balanced. Obviously, same thing on this side. The kills, the gain for this side. Source 2, and then over here, which if I move the camera over, is microphone, or the microphone is your headphones. Now you have an independent volume for that, and you also have something here for your monitor, so you can change how much of the mix and the cue you hear. So you can set it to half, and you'll hear half of what's in your headphones and half of what is going out to the screen, or the screen. What is going out to the audience. So you got that. Now, obviously here you've got your pitch controls, the beat lock button, which you can turn on and off. It just depends on what you want to do. The pitch reset button, which will reset everything. These 6 buttons here, originally in the LE edition, they will have set mappings to them. But you can change that with a little download from Virtual DJ's website, which you can get when you buy the Virtual DJ 5 edition. You can remap each of these buttons to each one. Right now, 1 and 2 in this on both sides are set to loop in, loop out. These 2 are pitch bends. This is the flanger, and this is the beat grid. You have your track selections here if you're using a CD. Your cue selects, which you can use to change back and forth what you hear inside the headphones. Crossfader, of course. Cue, stop, play, pause. Your jog wheel here, which if you, depending on the mode you have it set on, you can scratch. You can also do a whole bunch of other stuff. And you'll notice here in the center there's a whole bunch of things, little buttons. These are for navigating, so you don't have to use a mouse. I like to use a mouse though because it's better. The sync button here, this is for tap sync. You can tap this to get your BPMs in. And you've got your 2 deck load buttons here. Now you can use this if you highlight a song in Virtual DJ and hit that button, it'll load in. So, I've pretty much just told you what Virtual DJ has already told you. Or should I say what Hercules wants to tell you. What I'm going to tell you is how this thing feels like. So, basically, by comparison to the old DJ console, this thing takes that over there, this piece, and uses it as toilet paper. That's how much better it is. I mean, on the old DJ console, I didn't have a real pitch control like this. I had a knob that I had to turn, and that's very cumbersome. The jog wheels feel much, much more robust. On the old one, they felt like plastic toys, and even feeling them now after working with the RMX, I can tell the difference. So I'll zoom out here. Oh, wrong way. So if I move my headphones, always keep turning up. On the old ones, you can tell. If I put my hand on here and on here, I can tell the difference. There's no contest. The faders on this one feel much, much like that. Only thing it didn't have really was this, the little knob to move things around as a mouse, but I didn't use it anyway. So, that whole thing. Now, I've had a couple of mess-arounds with this thing, and right away, as you heard, whenever I get my gig log up, I'm working on it still. There's a lot of footage that I have to edit out. So, from the last gig log. It wasn't last night, it was the week before. Mark and Jan, one of the other guys down at Matrix, they felt this thing, and their main complaint is that these buttons feel like, as they said, the old CDN, or the old CDN 88 Newmark CD players, which is that you have to really hit them. And they do take quite a bit to hit. You can't just, like, if you just tap them like that, they don't go on. Now, some might complain about that. Me, I'm a clumsy oaf. I've also got heavy hands. I think you can see how big my hands are. I want something substantial. And this is nice and substantial. These buttons are not going to break if I hit them hard enough, you know, because I tend to get into the music. So, and basically, so far I haven't really had any major bleed-throughs or anything like that. So, you know, there's been no bleed-through on the crossfader, which is a big problem with the old DJ consoles. They always had bleed-through, and I can attest to that. The other problem was, as you would manipulate the song in Virtual DJ with the jog wheel, you would hear this tiny little popping noise. So, okay. Now the other thing is, that DJ console over there is actually the cut-down DJ Control MP3. Like I said, I was broke when I started DJing, so I didn't have the money for the real one. This now has its own sound card built into it. Now previously I used a Presidus Inspire Firewire, can't talk here, recording interface for my headphone cues. Now it's all built into this. The only other problem that we have here, the sound card inside of this, and I've only tested this on my desktop here, and this has another sound card in it, in the PC. These two don't like to play nice. If you enable this, you can't use your sound card out of your PC. If you disable this, you no longer get headphone cues, so you can't listen to the track and preview it in your head, or preview it through your ears so you can get it synced up. It doesn't like to work. I haven't figured out why. Like I said, I've only tested it on this one yet. I'm going to hook it up to my main laptop, and Mark will give you that when we go next week to Matrix. So, we got that, and so far, like I said, Mark gave you his 8 out of 10 feel on this whole thing. He said 8 out of 10 on feel alone. I'm going to do a little bit of a mix here. Now, the tracks we're going to be working with are, well, one is Raw Bass and DJ Easy Rock, It Takes Two, and then the other one is a Hypno mix from my friend Mark. It's Gonna Make You Sweat by CNC Music Factory, Apache by the Sugar Hill Gang, and Thriller by Michael Jackson. You're not going to hear it all, but I'm going to show you basically. I'm going to try and do a little bit of a mix here once I get my cues set up correctly. So I'll have to bear with me here because when I hit stop, I accidentally shut my stuff off. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a mix here and see what we can come up with. So. Alright, so not the best, but like I said, I just kind of threw this together on the last minute. But it's no fault of the DJ console, it's fine. That whole thing, you know. I've got rust to knock off, so. Anyway, that's the DJ Console RMX. So far, I really like it. I'm going to try and gig with it as much because the school season's coming up and everything. And we're going to see how it handles on the road, rough gigging, that sort of thing. So, for that matter, that's the DJ Console RMX. As the DJ shooters say, practice and enjoy. And make sure you check out djawp.org.